It's a great pleasure to call, to make his maiden speech, Mr. James Grundy.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It is a great pleasure to speak in this budget debate, and I do so as the first Conservative MP representing Lee since 1880, 140 years ago. The last Conservative representing Lee to speak in a budget debate was Richard Asherton Cross, Benjamin Disraeli's Home Secretary. I cannot promise to match his impressive achievements during my time here, nor indeed his impressive beard. To speak of a more recent incumbent, it is only right that I pay tribute to my predecessor, Joe Platt. I think I might have made history by being the first person to apologise to my defeated opponent in my victory speech, because Joe is simply genuinely that lovely. I have known Jo since she was elected to Wigan Council back in 2012 for the Astley and Mossley Common Ward, and I can't ever recall a bad word passing between us. I am sure the whole House will join with me in wishing her well. I should also like to pay tribute to Andy Burnham, who did so much to help the families of the victims of Hillsborough. He also spoke generously about the role the former Prime Minister, the member for Maidenhead, played in resolving that matter, much to his credit. Lee is a proud northern town with a strong local identity, rooted originally in coal mining and textile manufacturing. Indeed, my own family worked in those mills and mines several generations ago, and I am proud to say so. Though the mines and mills are long gone, the proud identity remains, and it is my firm belief that we can again become a prosperous and wealthy town if this government invests in and delivers for the North, and I believe that it will. I intend to make sure of it. I welcome the creation of the £4.2 billion local public transport fund, and I particularly welcome the commitment to improve transport links between Liverpool and Manchester, since my constituency lies almost exactly halfway between those two great cities. It is long overdue. On that note, I do hope funding can be found to reconnect Lee to the national rail network, with a new station at Kenyon Junction, the first railway junction to be constructed in the world. And furthermore, the good people of Goulburn would dearly like to see their station reopened as well. I also welcome the commitment to spend £700 million on new strategic road schemes, and again, I hope money can be found to complete the Atherley Way bypass to ease the terrible congestion affecting the whole constituency, but in particular affecting the town of Atherton and my home village of Loughton, where at Lane Head the poor air quality can reach levels worse than parts of central London at times. As the Prime Minister might say, Madam Deputy Speaker, we need to get bypass done. I also welcome the proposals to push for the development of brownfield sites. For too long, Wigan Council has sought to develop precious greenfield sites in the teeth of opposition from local residents. It is time to regenerate our town centres, and may I say, I think that the Chancellor's decision to exempt businesses with a rateable value of £51,000 or less from business rates will be a massive boost towards reaching that objective. There is much more that needs to be done to bring Lee Town Centre up to scratch, but this will be of great assistance. Madam Deputy Speaker, Lee is the town that invented the spinning jenny, helping kick-start the Industrial Revolution. And when people go to shop at Lee Market or go to the pub to celebrate the victories of the greatest rugby league team in the borough of Wigan, Lee Centurions, they should be able to do so in a town centre they can be as proud of as any other in the north. I appreciate I may have upset several members opposite by my comment, particularly the Honourable Member for Makerfield, but she may be willing to intercede on behalf of a team that begins with a W, but I would remind her that while it is indeed an excellent team, Warrington does not lie within the confines of the borough. And when the Chancellor eventually visits for a drink, to celebrate a victory by Lee Centurions, made all the sweeter by the freeze on beer, wine and spirit duties. Yeah. I do hope that he might visit via Tyldesley, which I hope will in years to come be the location of a line connecting Lee to the excellent Metrolink system, which I believe would be a natural upgrade in due course to the existing guided busway. And whilst in Tyldesley, I hope he will visit neighbouring Ashley, home to the Lancashire Mining Museum, which features the last standing pithead in all of Lancashire. I am sure he agrees that such places are a vital part of our cultural heritage and must be preserved. And now, I shall ask the Chancellor not to spend money on something. The Goulburn Spur of HS2, which affects thousands of people in my constituency, including my own family. As the Secretary of State said, it would cost between £2 and £3 billion, whilst delivering very little for that amount of money spent. And so there we go. I've just saved the taxpayer between £2 and £3 billion. Not bad for my first speech, Madam Deputy Speaker. Well now, I suppose I'd better bring my speech to an end, for as I have set out my perfectly reasonable list of demands, I've noticed the Treasury team turning an increasingly ashen hue. I would seek to reassure them that I am not an unreasonable individual. I don't expect everything I have asked for, not at once anyway. To quote a former Chancellor, I have a long-term economic plan for my constituency of Lee. People across my constituency welcomed the Chancellor's budget yesterday. Let it be the first step towards restoring prosperity to towns like Lee and delivering on the promises we made to those who voted for us, many for the first time in their lives. May the votes they have lent to us be treated with a lasting legacy, a legacy worthy of the name. Thank you very much, Madam.